The Fardarag are not jolly little elves. They'll be hungry and they'll need feeding every day.
I want to boil the audience like a frog. Now, bear with me on this. It started with a conversation about violence. John and I are basically a pair of wusses. We're pacifists, you know, we don't like fights, it gives us the shakes.
We both realised that where it came to our family, we might make an exception. And that paradox, that sort of irreconcilable difference between being a pacifist who'd commit violence was the seed of the idea.
And we wanted to take someone who's a pacifist, a peaceful person, but keep testing them and pushing them to the limit.
What, you rich, mate? Excuse me, mate!
The film is a modern-day fairy tale in a way, a very dark fairy tale.
The setup is fairly familiar. You've got a young couple, moves to a new house.
Myra and Jamie are very much outsiders, coming into this tight-knit community in Ireland, and that allows for a clash of culture and a clash of understanding.
Is there a problem?
Don't take any notice of them.
It really sets up the kind of predicament of the movie of what happens, because it's such a small community. They put their trust into the wrong hands.
Jamie, Maya, lovely to see you again.
Mr. Whelan, we weren't expecting you.
Daddy Whelan. Everyone calls me Daddy.
With that as well, with small communities in Ireland, there's a lot of folklore and kind of tales and fables, and I think the one thing that kind of strikes them at the beginning is how much the community actually believe in these creatures, in this folklore.
God, you really do believe, don't you? I saw one once.
John and I have both been looking for an Irish mythology story to tell for a while.
We read a lot of Irish myths and legends, and we looked back at the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen.
And then we came across the Fardarag, and we thought, yeah, there's a story in this.
Maeve believed in the old ways. Every evening before sunset, she'd leave a blood offering here.
Sorry, did you say blood?
She'd leave a little slice of liver or some such.
For who?
Some call them the Fardarag, or the Redcaps.
The Redcaps are goblins who live in the wood, and they're magical creatures, so they're not entirely living in the real world. They sort of have a foot in the real world and a foot in the magical world. They represent violence in a way, and that's the side of ourselves that as civilized people we ordinarily keep repressed.
They represent the inner depths of our darker soul.
They're not all evil, but they're just not nice. They actually do come when you ask them to help.
But there's always a price to pay, and if you miss an offering, things will go horribly, horribly wrong.
Given we're an independent film, we felt that we had to be clever in the way we created the Redcaps.
The Redcaps are a sort of hybrid between digital and analog.
We're using an amalgamation of techniques primarily so that they feel incredibly real.
It's a conscious approach of trying to achieve the red caps with as much real filmed material as possible.
So on the one hand, we shot full-size actors dressed as Redcaps on double-size sets, which give the illusion of people that are half-size.
I think our tallest guy was 6 foot something. Our smallest performer was 4'11".
They're about 2'6", 2'5" in the movie. So we have to also produce smaller versions of everything. So this would probably be the height they're going to be in the movie.
They were wearing static masks. Rather than use animatronics to animate those masks, we've added CG faces directly over the masks.
So all that happened in the shoot was the physicalisation of all of the red caps, and in post I facialised and vocalised all of them.
If you use just one technique, then there's a danger that the audience will kind of spot it.
We've made it hard for you to work out how we've done it.
What is that?
So it's a horror movie, and it's a creature feature. I think because it's a creature feature, it's got some humour and a lightness of touch. It never goes to a morbid or depressing place. When I was a teenager, I loved all horror movies, and I watched them all. And I like my films now to be driven by character and story and to have themes and if they have something to say.
The ones that really work for me are the ones that have some kind of human heart to them.
The sense of family and home is just, it's very important. It's a big theme in this movie. How far will you go to protect and save?
Am I nice or nasty?
I hope the audience come away feeling they've seen something that they haven't seen before. They will hopefully enjoy the journey, the art, and the world that these characters fall through and the people they come out at the other end.
No!